Elijah was one of the greatest prophets in the history of Israel, so it shouldn't be a surprise that he appears, his name that is, in the Gospels and in the New Testament as a whole. And today I want to direct your attention to the 9th chapter of the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 9 begins with Jesus calling the 12 apostles together and giving them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases, and he sends them out. And then beginning in verse 7, Herod, who is the ruler, he hears about all that's taking place and he's perplexed. And some people are saying John the Baptist had been raised from the dead, by some that Elijah had appeared, and by others that one of the ancient prophets had arisen. And Herod believes, probably because of his guilt, he says, John I beheaded, but who is this about whom I hear such things? And he tried to see Jesus. Then the disciples return. They tell Jesus about everything that they've done. They withdraw. They have a quiet time of retreat. And then there's a huge crowd, and this is where Luke places the feeding of the 5,000. And then immediately after the 5,000 are fed, our verses for the day are Luke 9:18 and 19. So this is right after they took up 12 baskets of broken pieces. Once, when Jesus was praying alone with only the disciples with him, he asked them, "Who do the crowd say that I am?" They answered, "John the Baptist, but others, Elijah, and still others, that one of the ancient prophets has risen." Now, it's really something to think about the fact that in the time of Jesus, it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years since the days when Elijah had lived under King Ahab, and yet his name is still so well known among the Jewish people. And he would be the one identified as possibly this is Jesus, is Elijah who has come back from the dead. And this is not the last time that Elijah will appear in the Gospels, and we'll hear more about that tomorrow. But Jesus does in the Gospels similarly to the things that Elijah had done. He performs miracles related to feeding. So remember, with Elijah, it was the jar of meal and the jug of oil that never ran out. And here in Luke's Gospel, right before this exchange, it's the miraculous feeding of the 5,000. Jesus, in Luke's Gospel, has raised the widow's son back to life, as we shared about earlier this week, just as Elijah had brought the widow's son back to life. So it was very understandable in Jesus' time that people of faith were looking at what he was doing and wondering, is he Elijah who has come back? Well, you and I believe Jesus was a lot more than just a prophet, and we'll share more about that tomorrow.